Hi, I'm Shelli from Anderson and Associates. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the reasons why you should carry flood insurance. I was in Louisiana in New Orleans this past weekend, and being in insurance for as many years as I have, I was really surprised that I didn't know that when New Orleans was devastated by Hurricane Katrina, that it wasn't actually the hurricane that did the damage. The hurricane actually hit in Mississippi, and all the damage that was done in New Orleans was because of the flood. And most of the people did not carry flood insurance. Because I live on the coast of Florida and I'm close to water, for some reason I always assumed that New Orleans was relatively close to the coast. And while we were there, my cousin asked somebody, how far is it if we want to go to the beach? Well, New Orleans is actually like an hour and a half away from the Gulf of Mexico, which kind of puts things into a different perspective when you think about the amount of damage that was done in New Orleans by the floodwaters, and it's not a coastal area. People ask all the time, why do I need to have flood insurance? I don't live in a flood area. I also think about the flood damage that was done in Houston last year. Houston is it's not a coastal city. It's not a coastal area. It's in the middle of the state of Texas. And so it's not just people that live on the coast or right on the beach that have to have flood insurance. Most of the homes and areas that are built newer on those coastal areas are elevated and raised and prepared for the floods, whereas people that are inland, their houses are at ground level. So the most damage is generally done in areas that are not designated a flood zone. We have, it's called a preferred flood zone, and a preferred flood policy is really very inexpensive. And my opinion is that anybody in the state of Florida should carry the flood insurance. If you don't have it, some of the consequences that you're looking at are 2 inches of water in a 1,500 square foot house can be almost $50,000 in damage. And you may say, well, we have FEMA that's, for the disaster assistance. Well, what FEMA will do is you may be allotted a small grant, but that grant is not for free. They take it back off on your taxes when you file your taxes that year. And the other thing they do is they give you a loan so you can get your stuff fixed, and you still have to pay that back. So FEMA really is not the answer to your disaster assistance. Having flood insurance is.